Welcome back everybody, welcome back to Sanctuary, welcome back to the channel. And if you watched last week, we made a branch of public occurrences, but it ended up leaving this space here. So I've been racking my brains thinking about what we could put in here. And so I thought I would keep the franchise theme going, plus I am going to keep the Diamond City flavor going, and we're going to create another building in the back here, which is going to be the Dugout Inn. And if you haven't made it to Diamond City, or you haven't made it to Dugout Inn, let's have a quick look at what it actually is and what it looks like. So just around the corner from the markets we come across the Dugout Inn, and I'm not going to make this duplicate this absolutely. I'm going to give you a flavour of what it is, and there are going to be a lot of references around to the Dugout Inn, but I haven't got the room to completely recreate it. So let's get into the build. So you can see this area here, there seems to be a lot of room, but it turns out okay, but we need to get rid of a whole heap of stuff. So I'm going to quickly scrap, and we'll come back in a second once I've got this all done. So if you watched the channel before, you know I'm not a great fan of scrapping everything, but in this instance I needed to at least scrap the back fence, which is all gone now. Now it does take me a while. The biggest problem I have here is to try and recreate the stairs. It's quite a unique stair which goes up and then comes back down again. So what I do initially is I just put a quick foundation in, and we'll speed this up so we know, it's only a foundation we're putting in. But the key thing is to get that first piece right, and then you can clip everything off of there. Now it is clipping. There's a little bit clipping, and I don't like that, so I'll redo this. So we'll come back once the foundation is in and we'll start the stairs. Strangely enough, you can see all that clipping there, so I want to get rid of that. And strangely enough, even though I've put this foundation down, and this happens when you're building and you're trying to figure things out on the fly, I end up ripping a lot of this out because I have to actually lower it and do all kinds of things. So figuring out the stairs is probably the hardest part of this build. And initially, if you have a good look, and I do this a lot, I had a good look at what was going on and how the developers actually built these stairs. And I noticed that there was a little bit of a gap between the stairs, and what ends up happening once I figured that out, it actually helps me a lot to get the final solution. So faffing around, a lot of faffing around. Now I'm using the blocks from Workshop Rearranged, and end up, if you look at the original build in Diamond City, it has this kind of wall block in between the stairs, so I'm just checking that that's going to work. So we're going to put that in there. It takes quite a while to get it lined up and perfect, but like I've said in many of my builds, it's a key that you get your first kind of foundation piece absolutely right. But I'm not going to show all the faffage that we go through. So eventually we get this lined up where I'm happy with it, and it's worth doing because the whole build's going to kind of work off of this. But you can see straight away those stairs snap straight into that block there, and everything will snap off of that. So it's worth doing and taking the time, and it does end up solving this clipping issue that you can see just to my left there. And see, that's going to clip right in there, no problem whatsoever. And it's just a case of getting stairs in there and on the other side. And there we have the biggest part of the build, or the biggest headache in the build, figured out fairly quickly. And this, it takes a bit of time to do. There we go. We're going to get rid of that. And now what we have to do is start to figure out the right level at the bottom of those stairs for that foundation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in there for now. That wall, I will bring it forward a little bit later, and then there's going to be a wall coming off there like that. So basically what we're doing is we're just framing that bottom area that you saw in the video a couple of minutes ago, that place kind of where the stairs, you walk up and over the stairs, and the front entrance area. So this is what we're doing. We just get rid of all these foundation blocks. We don't need them for now. Just going to get rid of them, and then we'll line this up. Now I end up, like I said, I end up bringing that wall forward so it's in line with the foundation. So I apologise if I'm jumping around a little bit today, but it's all pretty basic stuff, this, and it's just a case of getting things in place. It's not it's just a case of working through, and these things take time, but they're not exactly interesting, if you like. So I'm just showing you the stuff that I think is important for you to know, and then the rest is it's just a case of clipping things in. So we're going to have to persuade this first block into place, into the right position. I'm going to use place anywhere and switch collision off. You of course can use the pillar to do this, and it will do the same job. So one of the big things is just to get the height right at the bottom of those stairs. Now everything, this one fights me a little bit, but everything else clips into place quite nicely here. There we go. And there's no reason why it shouldn't either. So it's just a case of reshuffling these around, because the height, obviously the height has changed now quite significantly, and getting the whole foundation into place just like that. So it's just a case of speeding this up. I do have a few issues just in this corner here, so I end up just putting a floor piece in there actually, and we don't need that. And it's just a case of trying to figure out what you're going to need, what you're not going to need. A lot of the time deleting it and putting it back in is the main thing. Now you can use whatever foundation you like here. I'm just using these blocks from Workshop Rearranged because they kind of match what was in Diamond City. So that's the main area done, and we can start working on the kind of outside. So I decided to go with snappy house kits for the outside walls, and we're going to go to these ones. They are about 6 or 7 along these ones here, these internal shell walls. Very nondescript looking walls, but they're perfect for what we need, and they match up or basically what you see at the Dugout Inn. And we're going to pop a few of these in, put the door there, and another one of those walls right there. I thought about that one, but we'll try and keep it fairly uniform. And then another wall there. Now it's probably a little bit too long there, but like I said, I've got to try and utilize as much space as possible here. It doesn't look too small, but when you see the final walkthrough, you'll see we cram a lot of things into the bar area, and that's kind of the vibe that you go for with the Dugout Inn also. So the next thing to do is just to get an awning on the outside, and I just use these floor pieces, same blocks as we've used for the foundation. And when I initially done that, it didn't look right, so I play around a little bit with the configuration, but essentially that's what it looks like when I get done. The only difference being, you can see I've put these metal poles. These metal poles you'll find in the warehouse tab. I do give it a little bit more of a definition by making a little bit of an L shape there, and it seems to work perfectly okay doing that. So I don't know if you have noticed the Dugout Inn, but the floor is quite unique, and in fact it's complete dirt on the floor inside the Dugout Inn. So luckily I have been playing around with a new mod, and if you haven't seen it, it's ported to Xbox by Cordless, but Sabrina is the mod author. It's available for all platforms, and it's called grounded. And grounded I'm using quite a bit in my my builds at the moment. And what it does is it adds a lot of different textures from throughout the Commonwealth for you to play around with. So I'm going to go with this one here. Get rid of that. That one's just a little bit too dark. And it is fantastic mod. Check it out. I'll leave a link in the description for you guys. But it's, if you're looking to take your building to another level and create little secret areas, this is the mod for you. I've just completed one at Sunshine Tidings, little area which I will leave a link to about now. Go and check that out. That's my fixing up the Commonwealth segment on the channel. So there we go. We got pretty much the building component done, and a lot of what we're going to do now is really just decoration. And so I hope if you want to recreate this, it will help you to figure a few things out. What I'm going to do with this segment, I'm going to build a couple more single buildings from with a kind of franchise stroke Diamond City theme in this area. So stay tuned for another couple of buildings in the next couple of weeks. We'll cut to the tour now because there's not too much more to show you here, and I'll come back in a sec. So here you go. Let's have a wander up behind public occurrences here and go into the Dugout Inn. Now you can see there's wood and plyboard. I'll actually end up sinking those a bit further down into the foundation, but for now we'll leave that. And you can see we've done quite a bit. There's breeze blocks up at the top. There's a lot of references to the original, but obviously if it's a franchise, it has to look similar but not exactly the same. So I've put my own little spin on it in this build. So you can see that's where they kind of leave all their odds and ends at the front. And we'll hop up and we'll go in and see how it looks. Really pleased with this build. So there is a little bit of clipping that I need to attend to, you can see on that wall, but it's not too bad. So welcome to the Dugout Inn in Sanctuary, and I'll just let you absorb. There is so much to look at in this build, so many little details. I do eventually put a table in that little area there under the shelves and put a cash till in. You can see there's quite a unique shelving system, and they're just toilet style doors just glitched into the wall there. Lots and lots of little details in this one, guys. Now the original Dugout Inn does have pillars. I found these kind of rusty old pillars. We have a porta diner there, so you want some cheesecake, you can get some cheesecake. Dynamatic is there as well. So eat a traumatic or whatever it's called. See these pillars here? I put these in just to give it a little bit more character. Nice little cozy local bar, and you can see I've added a few floor coverings, but I've pretty much kept this as is. So lots and lots of detail, but not too much either. So there's a couple areas, a couple of doors there. Let's see, employees only, and this is for the owners of the bar. And so let's have a look and see what's behind door number 1. So the owner has a little chill out area, little kitchen area. Probably needs a little bit more decoration in the kitchen, and there's the office area for him to do his paperwork and whatever. A couple of safes there for the takings. So there you go. I've tried to keep this all kind of working together, keep it reasonably sparse and believable. And then in door number 2 is his, obviously his bedroom, with lots of little knickknacks and various things going on. bit of a Nuka-Cola fan. So there you go, guys. That's the Dugout Inn for Sanctuary. I hope you've enjoyed the build. I'm really pleased with the way it came out. It looks really, really nice. So as ever, thanks for supporting me. Thanks for supporting this channel. And we will catch you next time. See ya.